Hey guys, welcome to LS Plays FM and what will be my first series here on YouTube, and that is Stones Rollin On Up. So, in case you hadn't guessed from the name, from the thumbnails and so on, I'll be managing Maidstone United on FM20 in what will be a tier 6 to the top challenge, so trying to get to the top of the English pyramid. So the goal is, of course, to try and win the Premier League, and if possible, try and win the Champions League. We'll have to probably wait and see with that one. Normally, it will probably depend on quite how I perform in game. Because I can be a little bit hit or miss sometimes when I'm playing Football Manager, but hopefully, if I kind of play my cards right and do well with Maidstone, we should be able to get that as well. If you like the idea though of the series and like to see more, of what we could do with the team, please do feel free to subscribe to the channel. I'll be hopefully producing content every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at the very least. Maybe more. Have to wait and see quite how it goes. And also, if you enjoyed the video, then please do drop a like on it as well, because that really does help the channel to grow, gets more views and so on. Be really helpful if you could do that if you are enjoying it. Before we get going though, I'll hand over to my editing self, I suppose you could call it, and essentially he'll take you through the club's history in 4 very short minutes. I hope you enjoy that. Maidstone United FC. Originally founded in 1897, the club was one whose tale was consistently linked with financial troubles. During its early years, the club primarily found itself playing in the Kent Leagues before finally taking a step up and joining the amateur leagues. By 1971, the club was ready to enter the semi-pro life of football and found itself entering the Southern League for the 71-72 season. The squad at that time even included among its ranks a future England team manager in Roy Hodgson. By the late 80s, Maidstone's fortunes appeared to truly be on the up. Promotion to the Football League proper became a reality for the club in 1989 into what was then known as the old 4th Division. It appeared that the club's dreams had now become a reality, but at what cost? To begin with, life in the Football League was happy. The debut year, they even managed to reach the league playoffs before being defeated by Cambridge United over 2 legs in the semi-finals of the 1989-90 season. Soon, however, cracks began to appear for Maidstone. Mismanagement at the club began a spiral that could not be stopped. The sale of the club's home at the Athletic Ground on London Road in 1988 arguably became one of its worst decisions made by the club. Maidstone would soon find itself ground sharing at Dartford's Watling Street for the next 4 years. Falling attendances for the team following the ground sharing left the club hemorrhaging money. These financial issues would prove to be the club's undoing, as by the end of the 91-92 season, Maidstone's nearly century-long existence was coming to an end. A 3-0 loss away to Doncaster Rovers on May 2, 1992 would prove to be the club's last official fixture of any capacity. By the beginning of the 92-93 season, Maidstone would then enter liquidation on August 17, 1992, after failing to fulfil their fixture against Scunthorpe United. The club would soon after announce its resignation from the Football League. 1992 appeared to be the end of Maidstone United, but from the ashes of the old, a new club was born. Maidstone Invicta, a former youth team in Maidstone, was chosen to take the place of Maidstone United. They were elected into the Kent League 4th Division in 1993. The club itself went from strength to strength, progressing through the lower non-leagues and then renamed themselves to Maidstone United in 1995. Promotions continued for the club, but just like the old team, the new Maidstone still had no official home to call their own. They found themselves sharing at various locations ranging from Sittingbourne Central Park Stadium and Bourne Park, as well as Ashford Town's the homelands. None of these grounds were true homes for Maidstone, but in 2010, with the club acquiring new owners and management in Oliver Ash, Terry Casey and Bill Williams, the club finally began righting the wrongs of the past. Plans and financing of a new £2.6 million stadium was put into place, and by 2011 construction on the new Gallagher Stadium had begun. 2012 marked the beginning of a new era for Maidstone United. Under the leadership of former club captain Jay Saunders, the club went from strength to strength. Bumper crowds and appearances in the FA Cup first and second round proper were achieved by the team. This was remarkably followed by back-to-back promotions to the National League South and even the National League itself. This momentum, however, could not quite last. The beginning of the 18-19 season marked the end of Saunders' tenure as Maidstone boss, with his resignation early into the season. His replacement came and went quickly before the club's relegation back to the National League South was confirmed at the end of the 2018-2019 season. It is here, following the relegation, that our story with Maidstone begins. The appointment of an unknown local lad as the club's new manager has been met with uncertainty among the club's own fans. Following his unveiling, the Stones manager had only one thing to say at his press conference this morning. It is time to get the Stones rolling on up once more. So welcome back guys, hopefully you enjoyed that history video there on Maidstone's history and their rise and fall, and I suppose rise again as the new Maidstone United. So as you can see now though, we are in FM20 properly, just been hired by the club on my nice new £900 a week contract. Quite nice if I could be earning that, would be lovely. So let's get into this then, shall we? So, Bill Williams, Managing Director, introducing me to the club I see here. Nice to be congratulated on my appointment. That's very nice. So obviously he said about the club background, everything, already just been through that, and about the lovely Gallagher Stadium created in 2012. So certainly be able to go and have some nice times down there. Been there a few times myself as well, try to get down there as often as possible. So if we go forward as well, so introducing the team here, so most likely we'll probably be playing a 4-3-3. I will go through the actual formation I will be playing though as we go through this episode here, or likely be playing depending on who obviously we pick up in the summer transfer window. So we go forward again. So on to the board's objectives, I suppose. So we're being expected here to be getting into the National League playoff, or National League South playoff, I'll even say. So realistically, that is probably what I'd be hoping for. In real life, I was definitely hoping that for the club, but obviously before current life situations with obviously everything going on worldwide, that did get put on hold. The club wouldn't have got there anyway, I highly doubt, because Maidstone like to be consistently inconsistent with their performances throughout this season, so hopefully we can do better than that. Have to wait and see. Preferably I'd like to be getting into the National League by next season, but have to see quite what happens. In terms of the FA Cup, he wants to reach the first round of the FA Cup, so I hope you'll be able to do that, maybe even get further, go and get a nice draw early on. That would be lovely for finances and so on, and also to get to the FA Trophy second round, so I have to wait and see with that. FA Trophy is not really a priority of mine for this season, but we'll see if you get a good run in it. There's a decent bit of money in it, so I'll wait and see with that. So now that we're here inside the club itself, I'll quickly take you through and take you around the club, get you kind of introduced to some of the players and so on, some of the stars, I guess you could say, of the team. And I'll take you through as well kind of the tactics that I'll likely be running. I often like to use a 4-3-3 or kind of a formation that only uses one striker kind of consistently throughout FM. We will have to see obviously who we manage to sign, because obviously depending if we sign certain like very good strikers and so on, and we may adapt that throughout the season, wait and see. But I'll quickly adapt or design kind of the tactic I'll likely be using, and once I've got that up and running, I'll take you through that as well. We're now here on the squad screen for Maidstone, so you can see kind of the main bunch of the players that we'll probably be using. I doubt we'll be getting in many players. We'll have to have a look quite at the finances at the moment, see how much the board have given me to spend wage-wise and transfer-wise. But you can kind of see there's a lot of decent players in the team here. There's also a lot of kind of not fantastic 2-star players, 2.5 stars kind of average and so on. But generally speaking, there are a few standout players. For those of you who are quite familiar with Premier League players and so on, especially over the last few years, one of our big players here at Maidstone is arguably George Edakobi. He's also the club captain, former Wolves player. Really, really decent for this level. Not hugely quick anymore if I open up his profile. Not particularly pacey, not very physical anymore, at least in terms of speed-wise. Strength-wise, he's brilliant. He's an absolute built like a tank. But he can definitely do a job for us at this level for at least 1, maybe 2 years, 100% there. Other players to kind of keep note of, we have Charlie Seaman on loan. He's on loan from Bournemouth. In real life, didn't actually get to see any of him play. He kind of joined right before the league went into lockdown, essentially, and got cancelled. But he, at least on FM, is a really decent right back, and one I'm looking forward to using. Other players as well to keep note of. Saidu Khan is a really good player for Maidstone in real life, and he's got really decent stats at this level for Maidstone in the game. As you can see, central attacking midfielder on attack. I generally don't like to play central midfielder on attack, but if I do, probably play him something similar to that, or maybe Mazzala, maybe Frilic, as well as Mazzala can kind of do that role quite well. Doesn't quite have the dribbling and so on, but we'll see roughly how we use him. A couple of other players as well just to keep note of. Malazor here, he's a really decent winger. Technically, not really there, but pace-wise and so on, and physicals for this level is brilliant. He's absolutely rapid and so on. He can dribble around players for fun in real life at this level. It's a shame his dribbling's only an 8, but hopefully we'll be able to kind of get the most out of him as an inside forward, likely on the right-hand side. The final player we'll take a look now before we get going and have a look at some tactics and so on is Jake Cole over here in net. He's probably, in my opinion, he's probably Maidstone's best player. He is a really consistent goalkeeper for us, especially at this level. He can really do a job. Has some really decent stats. His one-on-ones at 14 and reflex at 13 at this level is really, really good. So he will definitely be here for hopefully a couple of years. We can obviously sign him down to some future contracts and so on. I'll have to wait and see with that one. Right, let's take a look at the tactics then. Right, so here we are guys now looking at the tactics I'm going to hopefully use for the team. So essentially, as I said before, I have gone for a 4-3-3, trying to utilise as many players in their best positions as possible really. Not going for anything too fancy. Obviously, we've been in the National League South. There's not a huge amount that we can really do. Not any real gegenpressing or any tiki-taka type of football really at this level is possible. I mean, Maidstone do have a 3G pitch, so the pitch is normally in good condition, but I don't feel we have the players really capable of doing that. I've gone for a flat back four. I'm trying to utilise Seaman on the right, where he's got his pace and his decent ability on the ball and so on, as I said before. Got him down as a wing back on support at the moment. Going to use our left back Chesmain on a full back on defend, trying to help cover the defence and so on. Especially because obviously at this level, often defenders are quite slow, so having our left back kind of help covering is going to hopefully be quite helpful. Got the three in midfield. Arguably, our weakest area is defensive midfielder with Camjo. I've got him down as a ball-winning midfielder on defend. I would rather him be a anchor man, but I don't feel he has the ability to really play an anchor man. You can have a look at him here. He really doesn't know the role at all. So I'm going to stick with him being a ball-winning midfielder currently. If we can find someone in the window before the season starts, I'll look to get someone to play there. It's not really my top priority though, is defensive midfielder. Really, my priority is striker. Currently, we have Ibi Akambi, who is in real life a pretty decent striker. On the game, he's really, I think, underrated for Maidstone. I've got him down as an advanced forward. He prefers to play target man. I don't play target men. I never do. I hate playing target men, 100%. Very rarely ever use them unless we have someone who's really, really decent at target man. Essentially, though, Akambi is going to be the first choice striker currently. If I can find someone, which I'm hoping I can do, I will do that. And I will show you any transfers we bring in next episode when we go through the first game of the season and so on. This one's just going to be essentially introducing all the players and so on, introducing the team. But so I say, if we find a striker, I will show you him next time as well. Currently, we've got Wishart and Amalazor on either wing. Amalazor is the inside forward, as I said. He's really good at dribbling and so on. Hopefully, he could cut inside a few times, maybe get a few goals as that inside forward on attack. Got Wishart as just an out-and-out left winger. I'm hoping he can do a job as well. So we'll wait and see with that. But that's essentially going to be the main idea of how the tactic plays. Nothing too fancy, as I say. Got us currently playing on a counter-attacking style, trying to shoot quickly. Got us pressing relatively urgently, not too high, because I don't think we've got the stamina levels. I mean, Maidstone is a professional club, which is really good for this level. But even so, I don't think we'll have the fitness to be able to press intensely for a full 90 minutes and play at a high tempo and so on. So not too high of a line and so on. Again, as I said, the pace for these defenders isn't there to play a high line, so we've got only a standard line with a higher line engagement. And we've also got it so we're going to pass into space, going to focus on the wings. So I said, arguably wingers are our best players in the team. Going to overlap on the right to get Seaman involved as much as possible and play at a relatively high tempo, but not too high. And as I said, also not going to play too wide either. Going to probably play positive. That may change mid-game and depending on how the game's going. We'll wait and see. May flick that between balanced or positive. Have to wait and see, I suppose. So now that the tactics are covered, the last thing we'll cover before we finish off this episode here is we'll have a quick look at the club's finances, so you can have a look and kind of see roughly how the club's getting on. So if we open up the finances here, you can see we've got a little bit in the bank. Maidstone are quite okay financial wise. We've also got about £700 roughly there to spend on wages. So hopefully that means we can get at least one player in on a professional contract. Got a little bit transfer-wise, probably not going to be using that. I highly doubt we'll have able to get many players and so on in for 15 grand. I'd like to go get put into the wage budget or get used as a signing on fee, but we'll have to wait and see there. So guys, that now just about covers everything I wanted to go through with you this episode. You should hopefully now have got a good understanding of both the club and their current situation, the players and so on, who's here, and as well the current short-term goals for the series going forward. As I said before though guys, if you did enjoy the video, please do feel free to leave a like on it. As I said before, it really is helpful for the channel. Also, if you're looking forward to seeing any more regarding the series, please do subscribe to the channel. It can help keep you updated on any other videos being released in the series. Just before I go though as well, I'll just mention the Twitter down in the channel's description, which you can find below. Really helpful also for keeping you updated with everything related with the Stones Rollin On Up series. But thanks again guys, see you next time.